More evidence. One of my favorite artists, Bjork from Iceland and RODRIGO from Spain, produced a video and a song about this Black Mirror episode that's been my life for the past 600 plus days. She was one of the artists outside of metal who took notice of my profile during this technological bloom in my popularity via Instagram. First off, followers of the Heart Machine should be no stranger to conspiracy, nor should they forget my rank within the metal community. A champion like these other artists in their respective fields. Yes, this is a jump, the circumstances are new, but it would be unwise to consider me as anything less than what I am. Use your ears and observe the intrinsic value of the work, not the numbers. Look at the list, the reverse Grammys. Log into Instagram and follow along the posts to observe this online tennis. This is the easy part. So Bjork became aware of who I am and has been involved in the group chat since around June 2022, in the lead up to the digital crucifixion, this invisible pit. Quick shout out to Russell Brand for this post.
In your country, America, there used to be a show called Little Rascals. You know that, don't you? Alfalfa, lovable little scamp kids. Weren't they adorable? It's happening in real life now. And it's really funny because this news reporting it, they keep trying to balance, like, making it like the Little Rascals, but they're going, it's not actually like the Little Rascals because these kids robbed a bank and the Little Rascals. You're grounded. Yeah, good luck grounding me, you son of a bitch. I'm fully armed.
Who doesn't remember the Little Rascals? The mischief-making gang was a staple of children's television in the 50s and remains a pop culture phenomenon today. Now the name is actually being used by the FBI.
The FBI says these kids just pulled off a bank heist during spring break from school.
Spring break! Now give me your money.
Authorities say the boys passed a threatening note to the teller at a Wells Fargo bank in Houston. Then they ran off with an undisclosed amount of cash. Even the FBI was taken aback. Recognize these little rascals? Believe it or not, they just robbed a bank.
FBI are trying to do it as a joke. That's not their job. Recognize these little rascals.
This is really happening. There's the video and then there's the lyrics. Both have meaning, which I'll decipher to add to the investigation. The theme and intention of this video series is to deconstruct and communicate how information can be communicated through media beyond face value. Hidden meanings, decoded relative to this drama that's happening in secret. First off, there's a statement by the artists of their support for a non-profit organization called Aegis, which is parallel to what's been happening in this illegal technological prison I've been put in. Keywords as they relate to this are combat open fish farming, which means against hacking, opening my life and farming publicly in this group chat. Fishing analogous to a good catch in a relationship sense. Taking action to stop the development of intensive farms that harm wildlife, deform fish and pose risks to salmon's DNA and survival. Quite straightforward when considering this layer, spelling out what's happening in case people have forgot to notice. Protesting against the injustice. The video depicts two women competing in front of a bright light, like two characters in a video game. The bright white light means illumination, knowledge, awareness, protection, vision, etc., which is symbolic of the work I was doing throughout this period. The two women competing against each other is a dramatization of the women who are interested in being together in this group chat and observing during this matchmaking process. Fighting like in a video game. The close-ups of Bjork and RODRIGO covering up their hair, I believe, is showing solidarity with Muslim women, which has been an additional theme throughout. Women outside of Islam integrating head coverings into their fashion to bridge the difference, the cultural gap, and show unity amongst all women. Conscious fashion. In this context, demonstrating the quality of containment, closed windows, in response to the excessive and damaging overexposure, the nakedness of the situation. Is this the right thing to do? I just don't know. The video ends with the women picking up the katanas, stopping fighting each other, and instead working together to defend and protect the light from the camera, the viewer. The camera falls in defeat, meaning an end to this tyrannical Eye of Sauron-like hacking and open fish farming season. Now the lyrics. Your mouth floats above my bed at night, my own private moon. This means the sound of my voice through the mic, which was broadcasted to everyone in the group chat. Private, just for the group. Moon, reflection of the sun at night. Private reflection of the social commentary during this experience in the night, this unknown. Just because the mind can make up whatever it wants, doesn't mean that it'll never come true or won't ever happen. Tricky to decipher, but I believe this is one of two crucial lines in integrating this jump, which can be considered fantasy or mental illness, into reality, opening. So amidst these very real concerns, there is also the possibility of something quite extraordinary and novel, this dream from materializing, this fairy tale-like turn of events, the rarest of odds. Just because she can, she hits the nail on the head in this line. Noting the reason for this to have occurred and gone on for as long as it has is simply because Kim can, right? She's become too big to fail, apparently, and is acting above the law. No one should be allowed to operate above the law, regardless of their level of fame or wealth. This is entitlement pollution, and we require a societal adaptation to correct and restore order in free nations across the world. Please, could I change that? Asking to make a difference to this situation, to this injustice. Is that the right thing to do? Oh, I just don't know. I just don't know. Posing the hard question, is this morally acceptable? Expressing doubt. Let me introduce one to the other, the dream and the real. Get them acquainted. This is another very important line in this song. She was aware of how this would be perceived by people once it got out, and is using her role as an artist to introduce this fairy tale-like dream to the real, to get them acquainted, to integrate this into our current perception of what is possible, bringing the two closer, illuminating and forming bridges as the best artists do. Possibility, hope. Just because she can, introduce. Just because she can, a mouth to a mouth. This repeating line, just because she can, in this context, I believe is referring to her using her power as an artist to introduce a mouth to a mouth, which I believe is Bjork introducing Rosalia and I. Can I sneak up from behind? Poetic way of narrating Kim sneaking up behind with this illegal hack, like sneaking up behind someone. To the back of his head, then I lift up his hair. During the first half of this, Kendall kept hinting to cut my hair, to quell her jealousy, like Samson and Delilah, where Delilah cut Samson's hair, which was the source of his power, lowering his power, a metaphor for what this has been. Sometimes children act out in order to find out where the boundaries are. Mind you, this is a 28-year-old woman who was born into wealth and fame, who's seeing how much she can get away with, and nibble ever so slightly, subtle, without a trace. That's where their hair starts. A metaphor for sneaking up behind someone and getting as close as their scalp to spy on someone this intimately, narrating what has happened in a poetic way. Now please, can I kiss him? Quiero besarle? Come on, please, can I kiss him? I believe this is dramatizing the women involved in this journey who took notice of me during this surge in popularity through Instagram's algorithm back in June 2022, who were spied on through my phone and rounded up in the group chat, who were not allowed to meet me because of Kim and company hijacking and blocking us. There's a line there, I can't cross it, concluding that there is a boundary present that should be respected and adhered to, coming to realize where this line is. Just because she can, again, there's no grand reason or explanation for this other than Kim abusing her wealth and power. This is quite special. Again, Bjork is one of my favorite artists, so despite the dire circumstances, quite special that she did this. Thank you to Rosalia for being involved and bringing the passion from Spain. Another cool connection with a fellow artist cut off by Kim and company. The personality trait associated with creativity is high levels of openness, as opposed to trait neuroticism, which is sensitivity to fear and wanting things to stay the same. These are also important elements to consider when going through this fairy tale-like turn of events, trapped under Kim's ass. But Bjork, ever the artist, and Rosalia have illuminated the path quite clearly. I hope this is clearer now. She posted this as I was writing this down a few weeks back. They were all watching, by the way. Very strange. This shows her singing Snakes with her friend as a gift for Alejandro, hidden meaning, like Russell earlier, and the brands. This is Bjork's gift to me, as well as Arca's. Snakes being untrustworthy, unpredictable, shifting allegiances, etc. Referring to Kim and Kendall and those in the group chat still restricting my life from expanding. I'm very grateful and hope to thank you in person once this is behind us. Spoilers, party crashes, jealous harpies. The Kardashians butchered this very special moment in music and used it as a power grab. Do you think they have enough? Kim's latest post, caption, I will be a shotgun rider until the day I die. Car, vessel reference, passenger seat, proclaiming love. I'll be with you until the day I die. Starbucks equals star, equals fame, bucks, money. She then posted this on her story. A clip from her feature in the film American Horror Story Part 2, Delicate, if that wasn't obvious enough.
I'm Siobhan Corbett. And I make my own rules.
I make my own rules. Above the law, typical hot and cold to confuse and disorient and hollow the ground you're walking on, so to speak. It's like, be brave, own it. So that's the video. Follow the post on Instagram and tune into this drama that's unfolding. Listen to the evidence in the list of songs, whether you think it's possible this many songs can be directed at anyone, or that I'm not worthy, or it's simply too much jealousy to process. This is happening. That said, there is no justification for being jealous anymore. I've suffered enough, and then some. The vultures have had their feed. Finally, Kim and Kendall have been using race in their desperation to control and divert people into their low vibrations. this isn't going to be about race. It's simply low quality people and high quality people, reality TV and art.